Hello, everybody, and today on Trendkillradio, we have new music from Motley Crew and Chris Cornell. Pussy Riot member is near death and getting very intimate with Paul McCartney.
What?
All this and more on Trendkillradio. What's up, everybody? I am Sean Ryan.
And I am Jimothy.
And this is Trendkillradio. We have a way better episode than I did last week. I did a solo episode. God, there was the slowest news week I have ever seen in my my tenure.
Remember to insert the "at least you tried" graphic.
Exactly. But we are coming at you from Cleveland, Ohio, and we have a lot going on this week. Let's get into it right now. New news: Motley Crew. If you are familiar with them, they quit the band. They stopped it. They didn't quit like, oh, fuck you guys. It was just like, this is the end of us. We want to go out on a high note. We don't want to be playing rib burn-offs in Kansas, Texarkana, or something like that. like Cinderella, and have intravenous band member changes and all this kind of shit. I mean, like, I just saw something from LA Guns, and like, those guys are such little assholes. Like, they're just whining about each other, and you never know who's in the band and who's not. And just like with Rat, there's always like 3 incarnations of LA Guns or Rat or whatever it may be.
Yeah, let's end it with the original lineup playing a great show, and just call it a day.
Tommy, Nikki, Vince, Mick. Underrated Mick. I should have started off with Mick. But yeah, they did.
I haven't seen pictures of him in recent years. Is he still basically like Cousin It?
I just saw him recently. He looks like the Crypt Keeper mixed with Cousin It, man.
Nice.
That poor son of a bitch. like if you know anything about him, he's got ankylosing. I think you pronounce it ankylosing spondylitis, because I remember in the book The Dirt, he does recall hearing what the doctor had said, that there is the word losing in it, which basically, if you guys are not familiar, which who the fuck would be, besides Motley Crue fans that have read The Dirt, or a family member that's been stricken with it, it fuses your spine, it fuses your bones together. You're like, your hips are fucked, your spine, your neck, your back, possibly your knees, your joints. It's supposed to be a hereditary thing that is that should come and go, but he was diagnosed with it and it just got it forever. So he's had many bones and shit replaced. Poor bastard. But okay, so like they did their tour, their final farewell tour. All bad things must end. All bad things must die. They signed a contract at the beginning of the tour saying that, like, we are not touring together anymore after this. It is done. It's stipulated in the contract that if they did tour, they would be sued. I'm not sure by who, though.
Yeah, I mean, how does it?
Who sues them?
It's their agreement, yeah, but who says, like, you can't do that?
Yeah. I know, and it would be a typical Nikki Sixx fashion to just go, like, fuck you. What are you going to do about it?
Right. Who's the authority that says...
I know, I still don't know. I glanced at a couple articles. I know the gist of it, but I don't know who the hell would sue them. Okay, so, like, 2 weeks ago, there was a photo posted on Instagram of Tommy Lee and Nikki Sixx in the studio. I had posted this on our Facebook page, but I did not do any kind of... because there was no story. There was nothing to say about it. Everyone got a little bit excited. Everyone got a little tingly down there, you know? Right? I did. I'm thinking about it right now.
Save that for the end of the show.
Wait till you hear Paul McCartney's story. You're going to want to stick around. Yeah, Tommy Lee and Nikki Sixx, they have couple photos done on Instagram or whatever. They're in the studio. Lots of speculation. And if you did not know, Motley Crue have a autobiography called The Dirt. And it is a tell-all book by all of them and their managers and their producers and girls that they've been with, parents, sisters, mothers, lovers, whatever. Have you ever read it?
I've never read it myself, no.
You never read any of it?
No.
Oh, my God. Even just like the first 2 pages, you just go, holy shit! Tommy Lee's sexual encounters that were like, they were wild even for a very young age. Yeah, so their book, The Dirt, their autobiography, They've been trying to get this made into a feature-length movie for a very long time. It's been talked about since the book came out, and I mean, I think I was like 16 or 17. I mean, we're talking like 15, 16 years ago that this book actually came out, and they've been talking about a movie for so long, and like, you know, it goes far back as to they were discussing who would actually play them. The runners at that time, and this shows you how long ago this was. Tommy Lee, they wanted Ashton Kutcher to play Tommy Lee and Johnny Knoxville to play Nikki Sixx.
At the time, it would have made sense.
At the time, it would have totally made sense. Yeah, I know. Now, it's just like those guys are like, I mean, Ashton Kutcher still looks great. Johnny Knoxville's beat the fuck up.
Right, but a now Ashton Kutcher could not play a young.
Absolutely not. No, you
yeah.
want a young looking kid, man. Younger than us. I mean, I know I'm beautiful, but who would I play?
Right.
Vince Neil. Like, I can see my fat face. Yeah, now it has finally come to fruition. After that tour, they had finally struck a deal. The director of this movie, this biopic, The Dirt, is going to be Jeff Tremaine, who did Jackass and Bad Grandpa. You know, so like he's definitely versed in the wild lifestyle. I think he would be perfect director for it. And it's going to be a Netflix film. They have their full cast of Motley Crue. The most notable one being Machine Gun Kelly, rapper from right here in Cleveland, Ohio. He's going to be playing Tommy Lee. If you've been living under a rock, Machine Gun Kelly's been in the news quite a bit lately.
Yeah, because of the whole Eminem.
Him and Eminem are having a little lovers quarrel. If you want to say that, I think it seemed a little contrived. I think they're probably actually pretty cool with each other. I think they're just fucking with each other.
Right. I think it's all kind of structured, like, you know,
it's like, entertainment.
Yeah, it's
entertainment.
It's wrestling basically. It's the the wrestling of music.
Yeah, you know, MGK puts out Rap Devil, and now Eminem just responded back today.
The response that he just released today was Kill Shot.
Yeah, Motley Crue, they have been seen together, and Vince Neil, just the other day, he spills the beans, and he goes on Twitter, and he goes, we're back at the studio again. Yeah, all right. And everyone's like questioning him or whatever, and you know, he goes on to just say, like, you know, we have recorded 4 tracks, and everyone's curious, what the hell are you guys doing? Are you getting back together? Are you going to go back on tour? No. They are not getting back together. They are not going back on tour, but they are recording 4 songs for this new Motley Crue The Dirt biopic that's going to be on Netflix. When asked about this to Nikki Sixx, they go, someone had asked the question, Motley Crue biopic, and Nikki just responded with a simple, yup. Sixx was then asked how the new material would fit in with the film, to which Sixx said, "You can trust us that these are ball busters. Everyone can relax. We're soon going to smack you upside the head with some killer new tracks." Bob Rock, who is responsible for Dr. Feelgood, and their self-titled one with John Corabi, which I absolutely love. If you guys haven't heard about that one, or if you're bored of Vince Neil, or if you're just nostalgic and you just want to see what the original self-titled album was called with John Corabi, who can sing circles around Vince Neil, by the way, but it was a totally different band. Produced by Bob Rock. That was a phenomenal album. Man, that thing hits so hard. He says, Bob Rock is producing. It's our movie. We know what we're doing. So,
right.
That is the new Motley Crue music that's coming out, and I'm excited to see that. I'm excited to hear that. I cannot wait for that to come out on Netflix. I don't know when principal photography begins, but I do believe it's soon. If they are working on music right now, then it is it's basically, we're not fucking around time anymore. It's just a matter of probably at the beginning of the year, next year, 2019.
Yeah, is
probably when they will start after the holidays and shit, and everybody gets together and start making a movie. That being said, another musician who you thought you'd never hear new music from is coming out with new music. Chris Cornell. From the grave.
But Yeah,
Jim, you want to take this?
Right. As most people will probably remember, Chris left us last year, May of last year. I believe, past couple weeks, people have been seeing activity from his social media sites. So it's hinting something's happening.
Like a new icon picture.
Yeah.
And his signature.
Right. And there's been
Which is actually really cool too. It's like it's not a big thing. It's like he does it in like a crown formation, which I thought was kind of slick. It all points down.
Yeah, I guess that's pretty cool. Everything's being branded with the hashtag when bad does good, and hinting at a September 21st announcement. So most people are speculating it's probably a single, just kind of promoting a bigger work that's coming out too. Also notably, there was supposed to be an unveiling of the statue of Chris Cornell.
No way, really?
Yeah, it was supposed to actually happen in August, but they actually pushed it to October. So I think it's supposed to be kind of in concert with this like new activity, this new, this whatever's being released, new album, new music.
It's in Philadelphia. They cut off Sylvester Stallone's head and they put Chris Cornell's on there, right? That would be fucking sweet. I don't care what you guys say. I don't want your fucking hate mail. I mean, I respected the guy. I love Chris Cornell. Soundgarden was amazing. Audioslave was great. His Euphoria Morning album, my favorite thing Chris Cornell has ever done. That is that is a beautiful album. I love that album so much. You can listen to every single one of those tracks, and it sounds completely unlike anything that Soundgarden or Audioslave ever did. And it was even before Audioslave. Man, was that a good album? Have you ever listened to that? Euphoria Morning, his first solo.
No, I never checked that out.
God damn. It's the best solo thing he's ever done. It's in my opinion, I think it's better than Soundgarden, because you're just so used to hearing Chris Cornell just wailing and stuff. But he was underrated as just a technical singer.
Was it not as like hard rocky?
No, it was very acoustic. The whole album was pretty much all acoustic. Not ballads, but I mean and not even folk, but somewhere in between.
Just softer songs. No.
Yeah. It was so good. You know what? I'm going to listen to that tonight.
Right. But but that's where all the speculation is coming down to too, because he had his solo work. He had he was talking about doing stuff with Soundgarden again. He
covers
cover album. Audioslave, and then of course even recently prior to his death, he was even playing again with Temple of the Dog. They did some shows.
Yeah, they did that. Yeah, which I mean, I'm not a fan of Eddie Vedder, so
I'm going hungry.
You know what? It's just my personal preference. I hate Eddie Vedder's voice. I think that band is solid as fuck. They are good. They are talented. They're respected musicians. Eddie Vedder just bothers me. His voice just annoys me. I'm sorry.
I love how I made that.
Don't thumbs down me either. Fuck you. Thank you to our sponsors, Miller Lite. Always refreshing. Always fucking delicious. Cheers, Jim.
Cheers.
Okay, on to our next story. Okay. Who here is familiar with the group from Russia, Pussy Riot?
A little bit.
Okay, so there's this group, and they're more feminist activist band group thing from Russia.
They make music, but they're more, I would consider them more performance artists as opposed to musicians. They don't really have a discography. They got maybe like 7 songs. They've done some videos for some of these songs, but yeah,
they're a wild bunch. But you will hear about them in the news, and they are, you know what? Like I do think it's so super punk rock because they are from Russia and they hate Putin and they hate Trump, and that's punk, man.
Yeah.
Just damn the government, damn the man. And while this is not a political fucking show, I'm not going to give you, and Jim's not going to give you any of our opinions on any of this shit. So don't worry. I don't want to fucking freak anyone out.
See, the real trick is to say that you're prejudiced against all races.
Yes! I hate everyone equally. This is going to be a quick segment because although it is lengthy in nature, you can look up Pussy Riot and who knows what you'll find on Google.
Right.
But if you look up Pussy Riot, they have been around since I believe like 2012, and they're always in a slew of trouble. These people are. They're in jail and they're out of jail and they're in court. They're being imprisoned and they're facing life sentences and they're protesting, and there's always just fucking something about them. And I give them credit for just being in Russia, which is a scary land to me. I don't know if it's really like that, but it freaks me the fuck out. I wouldn't want to be pushing any boundaries in that kind of place, because that's where you just all of a sudden you just go missing, which actually happened to some of the members of Pussy Riot. They were just gone for a couple of days, about a week or something like that, not too long ago. But they staged their protests and they play songs, and there's some shit on iTunes. Most recently, they protested the World Cup in Russia. They really hate Putin. And like 4 of them dressed as police officers and stormed the field, and clearly they got into trouble in the Russian World Cup games. I don't know, whatever. I don't like soccer. Who gives a shit?
Right, because they're not only just political activists. It's civil rights. LGBT rights, things of that nature. So
yeah. So good for them. Damn the man. Fuck the empire. Or save the empire, depending on if you saw Empire Records. But member of the Russian punk protest collective Pussy Riot has fallen ill in a suspected poisoning. Poisoning.
Merchandising.
So like I had previously said, they protested the World Cup in Russia, and they're always protesting Putin and blah, blah, blah. There was a hearing September 9th, and then magically after that, the husband of the foremost lead member, Nadia Tolokonnikova. So the husband of Nadia, her real name is Nadezhda Tolokonnikova. Fuck. I'm sorry, you know what? I'm not butchering that name anymore.
Once again, at least you tried.
So
graphic.
Many vowels and consonants. So, the husband of the foremost lead member of Pussy Riot, Nadia Tolokonnikova. I'm sorry, there's like 28 letters in this fucking name. His name is Peter. Just call him Peter. This guy... He goes to this hearing for being in the storming the fields of not Normandy but the World Cup.
We're American. We don't take it seriously. So to everybody else in the world,
soccer. So yeah, they had a hearing in Russia, in Moscow, September 9th. Today is
14th.
The 14th. But September 11th, it was reported. So I think this was right after the hearing. This guy, Peter, just gets like sick, not good. Not just like, I got a case of the diarrheas and the vomits. He starts losing his vision. He can't hear well. He can't speak well. He can't feel shit. Friends of his that are in the band, they claim that they are 1,000% sure he did not take any illegal narcotics or anything like that. No psychotropic drugs or anything that can cause things to go haywire, because this is a neurotransmitting drug is what they found out, that just it starts blocking off all your senses. It started off with him just losing his vision. They're transporting him to the hospital, and he can't even see anymore. He can't tell who he's talking to. Like, from me to you, can't even. You're no longer there. I have no idea who you are or that you're that close. So all bad news right there. So they release a Twitter statement. Our friend, brother, comrade, Peter is in reanimation. His life is in danger. We think he was poisoned. And they had begged anyone on Twitter, we need the best of the best. So again, that morning, Pussy Riot goes to Twitter and they go, hey, we need the best toxicologist, the best in the profession. We need your consultation ASAP. He was just getting exponentially worse, is what they were saying. I mean, in between like 2 hours, he was losing his vision. He couldn't walk anymore. It was really bad. It was not a I overdid it on mushrooms or something like that during a court hearing. Which would be like, I mean, that would be fucking wild. I'm not putting it past anyone to do something like that, but I mean, why? So it is definitely believed that Peter was poisoned. They had admitted him to the hospital, and there are very few little reports right now. We will continue and follow up on that in the very near future. As soon as we hear something, we'll say something. Good luck to Peter, that must be a crazy situation to be in Russia, be poisoned by your own government, which I totally believe. I completely believe that's exactly what happened. You don't just fall ill and get stricken with blindness and you can't walk and you can't speak anymore in a matter of 2 hours after a court hearing, after you repeatedly piss off the government.
Yeah.
And it's like, we as Americans, we piss off the government all the time, but I mean, they just go, meh, whatever, fuck them.
Right. Or
Russia, Putin and Russia, I think they take it a little bit more seriously than we do. But who knows? Maybe we will one day too.
They don't poison us. They just take us in, the dark of night.
It's the fluoride in the water, man. It's the fluoride. The chemtrails, bruh. I do not. I'm going to tell you right now. I do not want to hear.
Again.
I don't want to hear any of your conspiracy theories. Shut the fuck up. I don't care.
Send all of them
to him. Next story. Oh, and this is my favorite story. Oh man, this is good. Mom, this is where you turn off. You stop watching my show. So, you want to know something about Paul McCartney?
Yeah.
He and a bunch of dudes and John Lennon jerked it together in a dark room before the Beatles were famous. Yeah, true. True story. Recently, Paul McCartney has come out with a new album called Egypt Station. He was doing a little, he's doing his press junket. That's what you got to do.
Yeah, he's talking to GQ magazine, promoting the new album.
Yeah, I mean, even when you're Paul McCartney, you gotta talk about your shit. I mean, people are going to find it because he's such a heavily embedded. There's not a thing that guy can do then that won't be publicized.
Right. And it's I don't know who this Paul McCartney dude is, but Kanye is gonna make him famous, right?
Oh man, I forgot about that.
You remember that?
Yeah. Oh God.
Children are terrible.
Yes.
Absolutely terrible.
If you're younger than us, you suck. Sir Paul McCartney. He did an interview with GQ where he told a little tale. And this is before the Beatles were ever famous. He was hanging out with John Lennon. You know John Lennon.
Yeah.
You love John Lennon. Poor bastard. Not a great guy. Meh. He really wasn't.
Yeah.
He was a really shitty father until he had the kid with Yoko.
Yeah.
So I think that's Sean Lennon, who's the son that he likes, and the other one is I don't even know his name.
Right.
So Paul McCartney has recalled a story about he and John Lennon and 3 friends. They're just hanging out at a house, and they're young, spry young lads in England, and what do you do when you hang out with your bros? You get drunk. And you party.
Right.
Not this time. No. This time, they all turned out the lights, and they were just, John Lennon, Paul McCartney, 3 of their friends sitting around in chairs and couches or whatever, and just a lowly little, apartment, tiny little village house or something. Doesn't explain. But, lights are out. One guy just starts, having his way with himself.
Yeah, so, he starts cranking it, and then before you know it...
So, wait, what do you do when, you're with 5 guys and some guy just starts wanking it?
Well, first you laugh, because it's fucking hilarious.
You don't join in, do you?
No.
No. Paul McCartney and John Lennon did. Okay? There's 5 guys in a room, in the darkness, just jerking off by themselves, Just no chicks, no nothing, no alcohol to influence them. No, they were just masturbating all together in a room together.
Well, yeah, they weren't just masturbating. They started masturbating, and then they just started calling out random names of celebrities and like people that were like famous and shit like
hot
that.
women,
and stuff like
Bridget
that.
Bardot.
Yeah,
and then John Lennon. He just goes Winston Churchill.
That's a Lennon thing to do.
That's something I would do, though.
Yeah,
if I was ever in that situation. You can't prove anything. And so, Paul...
So you want to turn out the lights? Or
how do you know what's going on under these tables right now? This desk. So, Paul, he adds that, I think it was just a one-off. Maybe it was like a two-off. It wasn't a big thing.
Yeah, once or twice. It wasn't a big deal. But, everyone was a kid once, so you were stupid, right?
Yeah. He goes, there was no harm, no foul, basically. He goes, we weren't hurting anybody, not even Bridget Bardot. Needless to say, weird fucking story. Like, why you would admit that? I think maybe when you just get to that age, you just don't care. Like, not only is he just untouchable, rich, famous, and doesn't care because of his age. Like, maybe he just goes, fuck it, yeah. I don't know.
To be fair,
I sacrificed a child to the Antichrist one day.
All right. But no, it's especially weird because it's Paul McCartney. Had this been a story about Motley Crue, Sir Paul McCartney. Yeah. Had this been a story about Motley Crue, it's like, what?
Yeah, I know, but Paul McCartney is just so like shiny and clean, and like, how weird could his life have been? That is, needless to say, one of the weirdest stories I have ever heard out of the Beatles. I don't even know. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. But he looks back and he just goes, "Did we do that? Well, it was good, harmless fun. Wank away, Paul. Wank away."
It's a slow weekend in Liverpool.
Yeah. So weird story.
Yeah, I know people do weird shit all the time. What are you gonna do about it?
I don't know.
Well,
And that was our episode of Trendkillradio. Thank you guys for tuning in. As always, I am your host, Sean Ryan.
And I am Jimothy.
And thank you guys so much. Please subscribe. Subscribe, please. Come on. Like us. Go to our Facebook page at facebook.com/TrendkillRadio216. Like our page if you want. I don't give a fuck about Facebook. Subscribe.
Yeah,
that's where
give us likes, but always talk shit. Always talk shit as long as you give us likes.
Also, yes. Okay.
Yes.
And please let us know in the comments. What you guys. What do you think of the show? That is a dangerous game I just played right there.
There you go.
Yeah. All right. Well.
But no, tell us what you think. Tell us what you want to hear. If you have ideas, tell us what you want to see on the show.
Yes, absolutely.
We're flexible.
I know. If we're missing a story and you guys want us to talk about it, if there's an album review that you guys want us to talk about, let us know. Don't bitch at us. Just fucking let us know what album you guys want us to review, okay?
Right. There's lots of
This goes out to the slack-jawed yokel that could barely speak fucking English. You guys just cover the fucking mainstream bands. Well, it's like, did you offer anything else than just criticism? Well, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, I mean, we listen to a lot of all kinds of music.
Everything.
And I'll gladly listen to anything or review it.
Yeah, he's way flexible. He'll listen to all this shit.
I listen to weird shit.
He does. Everybody, thank you guys very much for watching. And this is Trendkill Radio.
I love how he made that post about the four Seattle bands, the grunge bands, like comparing to like all the houses of Harry Potter, and you're just like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I know. I have no idea what you were trying to say.
Right.
I've never seen any of the Harry Potters. I don't watch any of that shit.
I'm sorry for being a nerd.
You are a total nerd.
I am a total nerd.
And that's okay. You do you. But yeah, I don't. He posts this thing. He has the big four, and in a square fucking graph of the big four singers
and each
representing each band.
And then I had put the emblem of all the houses of fucking Harry Potter: Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Slytherin, Ravenclaw.
I don't know what that means.
And I associate them all with the bands, and they all line up pretty good.
I don't know what the fuck that is. I still don't know. And you know what? I don't want to know.